Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nest Portable Desk Organizer from Orbitkey. And it seems like this is really the year of pouches and tech organizers. We've seen some awesome new offerings from companies such as Wandered and Air, and it makes a lot of sense just given how many people are working remotely or working from home. It's super nice to have something like this to move your essentials around or easily find them when you need to. I've certainly built up quite a huge collection of pouches over the years. I've done some roundup videos. I've tried a bunch of them, and this one really stood out to me just because it was different from a lot of the pouches that I've used. You know, it's a little bit more solid, it has a different aesthetic, and so I was very excited to try it out. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what it's been like to use it for the past couple of weeks and how it compares to many of the other pouches that I've featured on the channel. And before jumping in, I want to thank UrbanCred for sending the Nest organizer for me to test out. If you stick around till the end of the video, I'll talk about how you can get 10% off anything that you order with them. My name is Danny, and on this channel we take a look at popular travel and EDC gear. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, I'll go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, I really like the sleek and minimal vibe that the Nest has. It really feels like it's going to be right at home, pretty much anywhere that I might be working. So whether that's in an office, at home, or at a coffee shop, I can just place this right down next to me, and it just really matches up with all the stuff that I normally carry with me. The Nest is offered in two different colors, an all black and the gray version that you see here, and both really look awesome. I like this gray version as it's a little bit different from some of the all black pouches that I've been looking at recently. And you know, this is a very durable feeling accessory. It has a polycarbonate shell on the outside that's coated with a nylon fabric to give it just a little bit of softness, and then at the top it has some nice leather, so it has a very premium feeling. And this is one of the biggest advantages with this versus other pouch organizers, is that it's very solid feeling, so it's going to offer a little bit more protection than some of the pouches that, you know, are more flexible, so they're going to be able to, you know, fit larger items, and they're going to mold around bulkier items. This is actually going to keep the items that are on the inside a little bit more protected. So if you have sensitive items such as a portable hard drive, that's going to be a big plus. However, it's not going to be great for holding larger items such as power banks or, you know, big laptop chargers or even headphones. It's going to be a little bit more limiting in how much it can hold. So that's a trade-off for having something that's this sleek but also solid. And then just continuing along the materials, they have some nice anodized aluminum hardware here that's going to hold this elastic band in place, which is what keeps this all together, and it prevents it from opening up while you're walking around. The elastic band can also be used to hold additional accessories. You can tuck in something like a notebook underneath. And then it has this nice little leather tab which allows you to easily release the elastic when you want to get on the inside. So just feels like something that's going to take a beating. You can toss this into a bag very easily. And then with this form factor, it's also something that's going to be very easy to carry around with your laptop if you don't want to take an entire bag with you. On the screen below, I've included the dimensions of the organizer, and I also wanted to do some size comparisons just to give you an idea of how big this actually is. So here I have the Moment Tech Organizer, which I did an in-depth video of recently. I'll make sure to include a link to that in the description below. And you can see that the Nest is going to be about the same length as the Moment Tech Organizer, but it's going to be a lot thinner. You can see here there's a substantial difference in the volume. So again, that's going to allow the Moment Organizer to hold much bulkier accessories, but it's going to take up a lot more space in a bag. So I personally am always a fan of slimmer organizers just because my bags are a little bit more packed out, and it's just tough to sometimes fit something this bulky into a bag, particularly if it's something smaller. So I really like the slim form factor here on the Nest organizer. And then I also have the Air Slim pouch, which is another one of the pouches that's been released recently. Again, a pretty similar length here. The Slim pouch, although it's slim, is going to be able to hold slightly bulkier items, and that again goes back to the fact that this is a flexible material, so it doesn't have a lot of padding or protection for the items that are on the inside, but it will be able to expand out as needed, whereas you have a fixed volume with the Nest. So just a similar form factor, and depending on, you know, if you need a little bit more protection or a little bit more flexibility, you can kind of pick and choose which one might be best for you. And that's one of my favorite things about pouches, is that you can get both and just organize your bag accordingly. And then taking a look at how this can actually help you organize your stuff. First off, at the top, you have a few nice features. So releasing the elastic band that I mentioned earlier. One of the first things I really liked about this is that it has this indented area that serves as kind of a little caddy for all of your EDC items. So you can rest your wallet, your keys or your key organizer or pocket knife, some pens, whatever you normally have in your pockets that you don't really want to sit on uncomfortably for several hours at a desk. You can take out, place it here, and it'll just kind of keep everything organized and easy to grab as you need it. So that's a really nice touch there. And then next to that, you actually have a wireless charger, so you can rest your phone or your AirPods on here while you're just sitting at a coffee shop and let your phone be charging. To go with the wireless charger, you have a little port here, and there's an included cable that you can use, so you can plug this into your computer or into an outlet. So I really love those additional features. That's something you don't really get with an organizer pouch. And as you're sitting down, it's just great to be able to have those bonus features. Even if you don't want to use them, you can still use this as a place to rest your stuff, but then you have those items and features for when you actually need them. And then diving into the actual organizer, I really love the hinge system that's being used here. So you can open this up in two ways. You can actually lift it up completely so you can have full access to the inside, or you can actually just flip this up if you don't want to remove it into two separate pieces. I've used it more like this because I normally just open this up to grab things when I need them, and then I close it up quickly so that I can rest my stuff. So it's nice that you have both options to do so, and it's really well balanced. I was kind of expecting this to tip over a lot if I open it like this. You can see that it stays up on its own pretty well, especially if you have the bottom loaded out. So nice flexibility there. And then you have a lot of organizational options on the inside. So before I get to this main area with all the removable dividers, I'll start off at the top. Here you just have some spots for something that's going to be a little bit smaller. I'm actually going to remove this completely so I can get a little bit closer and show everybody here. On the left, you have a small mesh elastic pocket that's going to be a great spot for holding smaller accessories. In this case, I just tossed in a dongle that I like to have with me that didn't really fit down in the bottom of the compartment. And then on the right side, you just have a few slots for something like a credit card. I have my Apple Card there. I didn't really use these smaller slots for much. I don't have too many accessories that would fit in those areas. You have a large slot on the back. One thing that I noticed about these pockets is that they don't have any sort of elastic to hold them in place. So this card would tend to slip out a little bit as I open the compartment up. If I had moved the organizer a bit, it would just kind of be floating around on the bottom sometimes. So something to keep in mind, particularly if you have something that you don't want to get lost when you open the organizer. They also have a small slot that's going to be a good spot for SD cards. This, however, has been very tight. This hasn't fallen out, so I like to have that there, especially when I'm out shooting. It's great to have a place to put an extra SD card and be able to find it quickly. And then moving down into the bottom, this is really the star of the organizer, right? Is the fact that you have this modular organization here that you can configure in a variety of ways using these Velcro organizers that I'll show a closer look at in a little bit. And it's really cool what Orbitkey has done here because you can just customize this to meet your needs. So whatever items you need to carry with you, you can organize them depending on how you lay out the dividers, but you can also remove them completely if you prefer to just have a larger space, or even if you want to place a pouch or two inside of this, it's great that you can do so if you prefer to not use all of the dividers that they've included. So I'll go ahead and start walking through the items that I currently have here. The first thing I wanted to call out is I really love this concept that Orbitkey has on having a place for everything in your organizer. This reminds me a lot of Marie Kondo style decluttering. It's always very easy to see when something is missing. You can tell if you forgot something. Hey, there's a big gap here. I don't have my AirPods. That's a nice reminder before I leave to kind of pack everything up. And it just keeps everything tidier when everything has its own specific spot. So I really love the philosophy here, just from a visual management perspective. And so jumping in, the first thing that I have, of course, is my Apple AirPods. And then next to that, I have the cable that Orbit Gear includes so that you can actually pair this with the wireless charger and charge your devices while you're sitting around. And here I have a little USB adapter that I like to have to expand the memory on my iPhone. I tossed in a little stylus and laser pointer combo. I threw in a lightning cable to charge my phone and my tablet. Orbitkey includes two of these little Velcro bands that you can use to organize your cables. So nice that they threw in some extra organizational accessories for you. And then I tossed in a USB-C hub for my Touch Bar MacBook Pro. And then the last item that I have here is my Samsung T5 portable hard drive. And I really love having this hard protection. Again, for this item specifically, this is something that I'm always a little concerned it's gonna get beat up in my bag, so it feels extra protected in this compartment. And now, with this a little bit empty, you can see how I had my dividers initially laid out. And I was surprised how good of a hold there is here. I thought that these would be kind of falling and moving around a lot. They don't really hold your items in place. So I did notice that when I was walking around, I could kind of hear things shaking on the inside. They stayed in their respective areas, but it wasn't as secure as I would have liked to have seen, or like we see with the bands that are on some of the organizational pouches, where it really just kind of holds them tightly. So that's something that, I would like to see improve maybe in a future iteration. But the Velcro itself works quite well. You have to twist it to kind of get it on and off. You can see here on the inside, it's a very strong Velcro, and these dividers are made out of a durable kind of plastic material. And you place them down, and Orbitkey recommends that you twist to get a very secure hold, and I found that that works very nicely. And then, when you get the Nest organizer, they have a lot of instructions on how you could potentially organize it. They have some nice pictures, you can see their videos. But the fun part is actually experimenting with this, kind of taking everything off, laying your items out. They recommend that you lay your items out first so that you can kind of see how everything should go, and then you can place the dividers on the inside afterwards. Now you can see this without any of the dividers on the inside, and it's still just a nice amount of capacity for anything that you want to store, whether you use the dividers or not. So overall, I was just really impressed with the Nest organizer and how effectively it kept my stuff easy to grab and the protection that it offered. And if you're looking for a stylish and versatile way to organize your tech and EDC essentials, and you just want something that's going to give you a little bit more features than a standard pouch, this is going to be a fantastic option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Nest Portable Desk Organizer over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on UrbanCred's site for about $110. And if you use the code included in the description below, you can get 10% off your order. And this feels like a pretty reasonable price considering the features and build quality that it has to offer, and also compared to the pricing on many of the other pouches that we've looked at on the channel. They normally don't have the sort of protection and structure that you see here and the additional capabilities such as wireless charging. So overall, it really does feel like it provides a lot of value for the price point. And so if you're curious to check out similar organizers, I definitely recommend you take a look at the roundup video that I did for my favorite slim organizational pouches that are going to be particularly good for minimal travel. I'll also include links in the description below to some of the in-depth videos that I've done for items such as the Moment Travelwear Collection and the Go Ruck Wire Dot. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. And if you found this video helpful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.